December 14th in Michigan's second game, Wolverine center Steve Everitt threw a key block for Ricky Powers on a touchdown run. While Powers celebrated in the end zone, Everitt lay in pain a few yards upfield. Everitt's block hadn't gone as planned.
It's just I was just shielding him, and me being 6'5" and him being 5'10", the forehead part of his helmet just caught me square on the chin and just drove this part of my jaw back and just dropped it. I mean, it just shattered it pretty much. All I knew is I had this big space between my two front teeth that I had never had before, and I just wanted to know what was wrong and where all the blood was coming from, and just I just wanted to know where I was. I wasn't worried about playing.
The injury was messy and required surgery, but the operation left Everitt better than before.
Well, I have 3 new parts to my anatomy. I got 3 metal plates holding it together, 1 in the front and 2 on the side. And they said within 3 weeks you get a lot of bone formation, and with the 3 plates, it says it's just stronger than it was before, and it feels solid. And you know, the only problem I have is opening my mouth real wide, and yawning still kind of gets to me, but I mean, that's it.
With the doctors giving the okay for Everitt to engage in full contact practice just over 2 weeks after the fracture, and Everitt anxious to go, the problem of protecting the jaw inside a helmet was the next obstacle to overcome.
We had to look at the lines of torque following physics principles of the way a chin strap is designed to hold a helmet on the jaw, and we didn't want to aggravate the fracture lines. So we had to do a little mix and match and design our own program for that.
I had a dream about having a cushion forming around the jaw and yet having something in front to keep it from going back. And that's how I devised this. It took about 3 or 4 days. I went to the college shoe and I talked to Bill Brown, who runs the place up there, and he and I worked on this, and it took about 2 tries. And on the second try, we were able to come up with what I basically had in my dreams.
With the equipment problem solved, 3 weeks to the day after his jaw was broken, Steve Everitt started and went the distance against Iowa. It's an incredible story, an amazing comeback. But Steve Everitt isn't looking for any Tough Man awards, nor is he crazy. He'd really like to see this whole thing quiet down.
I'd like to think they're saying toughest, but my mom thinks I'm the dumbest. I guess you guys think I'm the toughest, but seriously, you know, if I wouldn't lie to you, I mean, there's really no pain in it. It feels good, and I'm just happy to put it behind me. And you know, hopefully I won't be doing any of these interviews, you know, in the future.
Just like an offensive lineman, doesn't want to do any interviews anymore, but Mo, that's an incredible...
That's how you could do that, Jim, because if that had happened to you, you'd have been back.
Oh, I'd have been back in a week. The thing that would have been bothered me the most, I couldn't open my mouth to eat a hot dog.
Yeah, right. That'd bother all of us.
But that's incredible, isn't it?
Steve Everitt is a special person. He has a very good threshold of pain. He can tolerate pain. He plays under those conditions. Now, you understand, the guy at Iowa was a very good middle guard, ranked one of the best in the country and in the Big Ten. This guy goes in there and plays a very good game, very good. And you know, it's kind of, you got to be a little hesitant about sticking it in there, and he did a great job. And Steve's been a good person in that way, and he doesn't like the notoriety from it and doesn't want all the publicity. But if you had 11 of those guys out there all the time,
he'd be a tough team.